What is up, YouTube? So just a little project update. I got this new Phrozen 4K resin printer and also a used Cobra Max, but we don't care about that piece of crap. That is not working. Let's focus on this Phrozen 8K. We are doing our first print. I am doing a 1/6 scale Last of Us figure. It is a bloater, so let's see how this turns out. This is the print so far, and I'll link the file in the description below. This is the head, giggity. I just kind of shaved the backs. And yeah, I'm very impressed so far. I mean, this is kind of a messy model, so maybe it's not the best first test print, but we are going to test out some Squid Game models after this. So yeah, let's see how this turns out. Printing the rest right now. All right, so here's the final product of the bloater. So like I said, this is an 8K on the Phrozen 8K using the Phrozen 8K resin, which is like super expensive, 45 bucks a bottle. Printing another surprise model here, which we'll get to, but yeah, you can see this model here. If I were to go back, you could see a lot of gaps are in the model because I printed it piece by piece. I would just print it as a whole model and maybe just cut it in the middle and then I'll gap fill it. But yeah, so a lot of gap filling, but hopefully it'll be covered up after prime. But yeah, that actually does not look bad. What do you guys think? Is that 8K or could you have got that on a regular resin printer? If you're wondering, this is a bloater 1/6 scale model. Yeah, not bad. If you were to buy this from like a Hot Toys, probably would have been like 300 bucks. All right, let's get this painted up. All right, so quick video update here. My voice kind of sounds weird because I'm wearing a gas mask because this stuff is freaking toxic. Anyway, so this is the base for the resin model. This is the 8K Phrozen gray, and this is ANYCUBIC, just plain old ANYCUBIC resin, $17, $40 a bottle. The same piece that failed, so I had to remake it. I ran out of the $40 bottle. So on the top is the 8K, and on the bottom is the $17 cheap bottle. Oh, sorry. That was backwards. This is the ANYCUBIC $17 bottle. This is the 8K $40 bottle. You can tell because they're the same shade. This is a different lighter shade. So yeah, let's put the expensive piece on top. Or sorry, the cheap piece on top. Okay. All right, little update here. My voice sounds muffled because I'm wearing a gas mask. Because this stuff is freaking toxic. Anyway, so I kind of ran out of the Phrozen 8K resin, and I used a $17 bottle of ANYCUBIC resin. The Phrozen one, if you look on Amazon, it's $40 a bottle. So check this out. This part on top is the ANYCUBIC resin. The one on the bottom, the darker resin, is the 8K. And to be honest, I can't really tell the difference. Like, I do not think it's worth $23 extra a bottle. And this is a pretty intricate design on the basing. So we focus here. Like, maybe it's a little sharper on the bottom, but is that little? Is that like 5–10% sharpness worth $23 extra a bottle? Check those, let's rotate this. Check out that pattern there. Like, can you guys tell the difference? Because I cannot tell the difference to decide if it's worth spending that extra money. I actually don't think it is. I think all the next prints I do on this printer, I'm just going to use ANYCUBIC resin for $17 a bottle. Alright, let's get this stuff assembled and check it out. Alright, so here is the finished product of resin. Did not turn out too bad, so had to do a little green stuff, but that's the model's fault. I'll just shave that down a little bit. Not the actual resin or machine. But check that out. So this guy is all in the Phrozen 8K resin. So I actually think, so you could see all the strands in his hood. That's crazy. If I used the ANYCUBIC resin, I don't think I would have got all that detail. It probably would have been washed out. Like you can see those little dots right there in his armor. See the strands in the fabric? That's crazy. So I think, this is weird. Like, do you think it's worth $40 a bottle of resin to get that small pieces of detail? Or would you get pretty much 90% of this result by using a $17 bottle of ANYCUBIC resin? Let's check out the base. We'll get this painted up and see how it looks. Very, very cool model. Love how it turned out. Let's check out the bloater we did. Take it over here. Don't forget your PPE, boys. Check out the bloater. I kind of painted it a little bit. I couldn't wait. So kind of just put some primer down, did a little shading for the skin. Nice little cracked effect on primer to give his like cracked skin veins look. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm probably going to just do some red shading around the pustules, these yellow pustules. Hit it with a glossy coat of what do you call it? Varnish, gloss varnish. And then throw just like Agrax Earthshade or something similar like that all over his body, give it some shading. And then finish it off with some Blood of the Blood God effects on his mouth and hands. Yeah, it turned out really good. This figure, this took a whole bottle of 8K resin, so $40. I want to print one using a $17 bottle of ANYCUBIC resin to see how it turns up. I don't think I needed to use the 8K on this because this guy's so messy looking that there's not really a need for that level of detail. So yeah, let's stand these guys together here. Freaking awesome. Don't fall. Do not fall and shatter. Alright, let's get these painted up and see how they look. And we got some more miniatures printing over there. Alright, here's another sick print. These are like Ultralis from Starcraft. Size to be turn-in models would be Carnivex or Maliceptors. So these are printed in the Phrozen 8K gray. Oh my god. Destroying them. So you see the quality here, Starcraft model. Phrozen 8K resin. Lots of little details that pop out. I think this is even better quality than Games Workshop. The modeling and the quality. Like Games Workshop or Forge World resin just looks like trash. This is freaking amazing. Very clean. So these models, I'm not going to put the link down below. I'll ask the file maker. I don't know if he wants this known because this is a StarCraft IP. But I'm sure if you have good Google food, you should be able to find it. This one's pretty cool. This guy's like in a leaping, about to scythe you attack. Very cool. Alright, so that's that model. And now we will check out some other cool models here. Alright, check these bad boys out. Or should I say bad ladies. These are from the Heroes Infinite, the Patreon for Raging Heroes, which I'll link in the description below. This is their elf line, so it's supposed to be comparable to Lumineth, the Realm Lords, for Age of Sigmar. And that is pretty clean. Very nice boobage. I guess you could say. Check out one of these little hero bannermen, banner woman. Yeah. So I printed these in just regular $150 resin printer, and a lot of these details were lost in the print. You could definitely see everything from like her fingers to the hair strands. Like none of the detail is lost. Very, very cool prints, and I love their Patreon. Check them out if you guys are interested.
All right, finishing up these updates on the Phrozen 8K printer. So check this out. We did some giant space cockroaches. That's my baby objecting to 3D prints in the background. So yeah, I just printed these to scale. I kind of wanted to increase the scale, but anyway, that's not what we're here for. So yeah, you could check out the quality on that. I believe this was all done in the 8K resin except for the tail. So if you are thinking, can you use regular resin on an 8K printer? Yeah, but it does not work as easy as you would think. So the tail was done in $15 resin and using the same settings as the 8K resin, and you could see all the layers, and does not look good, but whatever, we'll paint this up messy to kind of hide that. But you can see the rest of the model there. Very clear and detailed. But there's one thing wrong. I'll let you see if you can see it with the 8K resin that has a large amount of complaints. 8K resin is very brittle. And you can see all the a lot of the pointy portions here are snapped off. And that was just from washing. They just fell off. I used a ANYCUBIC washing cure, so it probably popped off the edges as it was washing. It's kind of like a washing machine, so it's spinning really fast and probably popped those off as it was spinning. So yeah, there's that one. Let's keep checking out more. I believe this one was done in all 8K. And ignore these I used some cheap. We just really cheaped out. I used a cheap FDM printer for the bases because I didn't really care. I just wanted something done quick and cheap. All right, so this guy I believe is all in 8K resin. Not bad, not bad. There is one, oh, there's a little crack right there. Yep. One thing did go wrong with this one. The tail snapped off. The tail did not print halfway through, so I just green stuffed. You could, if I tell you, you could definitely see it. I just green stuffed the tail and completed it there. We do not waste any pieces, as you could tell. Even the basing, half the basing didn't print out, so I covered the other half with a piece of leftover armature. So yeah, there's that space cockroach there. That guy is pretty much the same thing, just different pose. And then over here we did some Maliceptors. Same thing. I think, yeah, these ones were done in the cheap resin, and you could tell. You can see all those lines there from printing. But it's whatever. These are just for fun, casual use. There's the drain hole I did because this thing's hollow. And I did one, there's a third one I did that was solid. It's really, really heavy. That was a waste of resin. But yeah. So yeah, those are the NIDs, and now we will move on to the Halo figures I did. All right, final part of our video. So ignore the sound in the background. We're watching the baby at the same time. So yeah, so we did some miniatures in contrast to the statues and bigger Did I say bigler? The bigger figures that we've done. So these are some 28mm figures for Warhammer 40K, but these are Halo models that I'm using as Imperial Guard proxies. So I think half of them were done in $17 resin from ANYCUBIC on Amazon. The other half were done with $40 bottles of 8K resin from Phrozen. So we could do a little comparison here. I'm just gonna do a little overshot real quick one more time of all the models. some snipers and guys with rocket launchers, some infantry with assault rifles. We did attempted to do a warthog and attempted to do a scorpion tank resized to the lemon rust scale. And we'll talk about those in a bit. And then we did some ODST troopers. And yeah, we'll go over these. And these will be our Ogren or Bulgren counts as there. And then I did 10 Spartans to maybe use them as Tempestus Scions or something. And over here we have some Squid Game guys. Use them as officers or something. And then we got some orc models from Gear Guts. Sells these. I'll put the link in the description below. All right, so let's check out these models here. So the dark resin is the 8K resin, and the light gray was the $15 ANYCUBIC one. So let me see if the camera could pick them up close. So yeah, you could see that. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's a mind game to me, but I feel like the 8K resin is just more clearer. Let's look at these up close. So here's the 8K resin. Let's see, how do we focus this? There we go. So 8K resin, guy with a rocket launcher. Put that down. Same model, same printer, but this is with the $15. Let's see, let's get this guy out. Let's try to focus this up there. So $15 resin. So I feel like the 8K resin, you just get a better image, like it's more sharper, better edges. It's more cleaner. But at the same time, is it worth it for $40 to a $15 bottle? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's not. I don't know. Yeah, let's say you're painting all these guys and you're just going for tabletop quality. Maybe the $15 is worth it more because you're just priming it, washing it, dry brushing, and that's it. But let's say you actually want to go for a good paint job. You probably want to use the $40 bottle of 8K resin. So same thing kind of here. Here's the infantry. I did it in the $15. Oh, there's some, need to do a little bit more cleanup. I did this in the $15 bottle. And then over here, we have the ODST Trooper. I did in 8K. And you could just see, it kind of just picks, like it's more clear, like the little pouches on his chest. Ignore my back, I need to clean that up. Or the pouches on his belt on the back. Now he just picks up those little pouch pockets. What else can we look at? Let's check out these. These obviously were done in, let's look at this one, 8K resin because they're dark. And you can see that it's just crisp, picks up the folds in their shirt. Look at one of these Gear Gut models here. This is also 8K resin. Like, this is just clean. Like, look at, that's actually a pretty clean model. Like, even his teeth, like his tiny upper jaw, picked out all the teeth perfectly. You can see his hands. You can see, like, kind of his bony hands. Like, it picked up a lot of detail on this figure. Check out this bad boy rocking out. Yeah. So, like I said, I think it's worth it if you're batch painting the $17 resin. And we'll check over here. I attempted to, I printed these all out at once, and you can see I kind of failed. The window shield and the, what do you call it? Whatever. The window shield did not print out well at all. I don't even know what I'd proxy this as, I just wanted it. And then I was planning on doing 4 of these in lemon rust, and I printed this all out at once too, tilted 45 degrees, and this thing looks destroyed. It's like, it looks like it's battle damage, but like you can see the turret there, it just like separated. So definitely do not print something like this all out at once. Also, this file, I don't think this was made for 3D printing. I think it was straight up a scan from the video game, because it has like everything. It even has like the internals of a tank on the inside of it printed out. And I only know that because the parts that failed, that did not print, you could see inside the tank, like right here, the side. So here's a solid side. This side did not print out solid, but you could see the wiring and stuff on the inside of the tank. So I have a feeling this is an actual scan of the game that someone hooked me up with, and it probably is the reason why I did not print out. But even so, I probably should have split it with a turret separate and printed that separate, so it wouldn't give that little curving. But yeah, so now that I printed out a bunch of different stuff, variety of figures and models, is it worth it? So as a noob who is not really an expert, but getting into 3D printing, I don't think it's worth it for me. It's really toxic. The smell's strong. I'm doing it in the garage and it's still strong. I can still smell the smell of the alcoholic cleaning chemicals and the resin. The resin, when you drop it, it's so hard to clean. As I was printing, luckily, if you guys do get this, you have to buy a screen protector. I spilled resin, and then some resin somehow spilled through the FEP onto the screen. If you get that cured, if it spills on your screen and it cures, it's a B to clean up. So like for me, like all that hassle, I don't think it's worth it. It's cool printing out a whole army. This probably cost me what, $60, and only because half of it is maybe 50 bucks. Maybe even 40 bucks in resin. It's only because half of it is in the expensive 8K resin. But at the same time, it's just such a hassle. It is cool just printing out whatever you want though, so I will give it that. So for me, I actually ended up returning the Phrozen 8K printer. I don't know, it's just not for me. Maybe when I get a bigger house and I can have like a dedicated workshop, like buy maybe 2 or 1 really big shed and put from Home Depot and put in the backyard. But yeah, that toxic smell and just going into the garage to get a drink from my fridge and having to smell that was such a nasty turnoff. So yeah, that and then the hassle of cleaning up was just not it for me. But yeah, but one lesson to take away from this is if you are going to pick up this printer, do not get the cheap $17 resin if you actually want stuff to look good. So yeah, that is my advice. And yeah, that was my experience with a expensive resin printer. Hope that helped you guys out and seeing all these models. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace.